Welcome to episode 15. Oh no, focused. Season 12 at Young Arts Run Free podcast. I told you I shouldn't have been able to do that. I messed it up last time.
Go for it, Stephen.
Okay, yeah, welcome to season 15, episode 12, the Young Hearts Run Free podcast. That's the one, Mel. We'll keep that in, John.
100%, yeah.
We will. We're welcoming back to the podcast our Yorkshire correspondent, as you can probably tell by now, Mel Sykes. Last weekend, Mel took on the Ultra Trail Snowdonia 100k, a race that's become synonymous with brutal climbing, technical terrain, and classic Welsh mountain conditions. And Mel didn't just complete it, she finished third female on the podium in a time of 19 hours, 41 minutes, 53 seconds, standing on the podium in one of the most competitive races in the UK. Mel, welcome back and massive congratulations to you. How are you doing?
Not too bad. I had Sunday, Monday, Tuesday where I could hardly walk and sit down, the usual DOMs, but we're getting there. We're getting there towards end of week. Fair old shift that though, bloody hell.
It's a fair old shift.
We're going to dive right in for time. We're going to dive right in to talk about UTS. I think a lot of people know the Mel Sykes backstory. Certainly listeners to this podcast will know. There's been a lot, isn't there? How many times you been on here, Mel?
I don't know. Is this fourth, maybe? Fifth? Fourth?
Something like that. Might be a record.
Yeah.
Most capped.
Most capped player. Yeah. So, but people know the backstory. If they don't, go back and find other episodes. They're littered through the Young Hearts Run Free back catalogue.
Yeah.
But my first question is, what time did the race start?
So we went at R5 on Saturday morning. So there were different races going off all over weekend. And ours was the third race to go off. 100 milers went off at Friday lunchtime. The 80k were an overnight one. That were a new one that they'd added on. So that were an overnight one. They went off at 8 p.m. Friday night. Then we went off, Saturday morning R5. Perfect time for me. That's just ideal, isn't it, for a race start, do you think?
Yeah.
No.
I'm an early
No.
night. But then, I'm just trying to think, 19 hours later on, it's like just after midnight, isn't it? So,
Yep.
Okay. But, so thank you very much for that. That sort of set the scene, the time of day and the finish time. Why? The UTS 100k. What made you pick that from the list? You've done a lot of races that were spoke about before. What made you pick UTS 100k?
I don't know. Obviously, I were in for Northern Traverse, and then that one went tits up. And then I was just looking for something else that were going to be a longish distance one, just like this time of year. So, and then I think not long after that, they'd released just a few extra places because the 100k sold out because they ran out of permissions or something to have a certain amount of athletes going over some of the trails, and then they reopened the entries, and then we just managed to get in when they reopened him. It's one that I'd wanted to do. I did the 50k maybe I think in 2022, and then I was like, oh, that were horrible. I'm never doing it again over there. But then it just fell with right timing, really. Sean wanted to do it, so I just thought, oh well, in for a penny. Oh, in for nearly 300 quid. Not a bloody penny.
I think I remember that 50k story. Is that the one you were talking about? You were crawling up the mountain.
It was really hot.
And all these tourists were just walking past.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. And even the 50k were really hard. It were really hot. So that was what had put me off going back there before, because it always seemed to be red hot on that weekend. I volunteered one year just after brain job, And it were a really, really hot weekend then as well. So I just thought that's just not for me. So I had everything crossed after I'd entered this. It were going to be a poor weather weekend, and it was. We had storms, hail, rain, the lot. It were great.
Cool. More on
And-
that to come.
Yeah, well, you've set the scene really well there, Mel. Thank you. And there is, do you know, it's a right weekend of events, with 50k, 80k, 100k, 100 miles. Is that, have I missed any out?
There's a 25k and all on Sunday.
Oh, didn't know
Yeah.
that. I'll sign up. Much is that? 850 quid or something.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so it'll be a busy place. Is it big atmosphere? It's no UTMB. We'll not go into our UTMB because it can be quite a spiky topic for some. So we'll not go there. We'll leave that to others to have that debate. But in terms of that sense of scale of event, does it feel as if it's
Yeah,
something
well,
a bit more special? Or?
Yeah, it's weird really because of how the races are staggered. Like I
Mhm.
expected to get there, you know, like when we've been up to Lakeland before, and
Yep.
like everybody's just there, and it's quite overwhelming, isn't it? And everyone's buzzing about. But with how the races are staggered, obviously the 100-milers have gone off Friday lunchtime, and then the 80k started not in Llanberis, that was somewhere different. So all them went off on a
Right.
bus somewhere to the start of theirs. So it never really felt, because that's what I don't like about big races, you know, like when it's really crowded and stuff before. But how they'd worked it, it didn't feel like that.
Got you.
Yeah, quite enjoyed. There were no queue when we went to register. The trail village that they call it's open like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever on Saturday and Sunday. So there's plenty of time for people to go wandering around. It wasn't like everyone were trying to get there and get crammed in. So yeah, it were more relaxed than I thought it were going to be. I thought it were going to be all a big old, like busy carnival type thing, but no, it were better.
And were you camping? Were you in the
So that
van?
yeah, we were in van, yeah, because we'd entered so late. Obviously, there were no accommodation anywhere near, so we
Course.
drove over on Thursday to try and find somewhere to park the camper van. So we stayed in camper van all weekend, yeah.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, it's great for like the 2 nights pre-race. Just when you finish a race after midnight, get back to your van at 1:45 in the morning. It's just seems like a good idea at times, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
We spoke to Stephen recently about the Paris Marathon and the
Mm.
toilets. The toilets were the best that Stephen's experienced at a large-scale event. How were the toilets in Llanberis?
great, yeah. Yeah, no queue whenever I went to like
Brilliant.
Portaloos or yeah. Like I say, it were weird really because it's such a big event, but it never felt overly busy or like crowded or having to wait for anything. So yeah.
Because to me, that's quite important. And I think race organisers have definitely upped their game because I've been to races where there's like 3 toilets for like 300 people lining up for a pee, you know? So, no, fair play to them. UTMB have got something right there. Well
Yeah,
done.
they have, yeah.
Well done.
They have. Toilets, like first thing on our sort of review. Toilets. Toilets. It's important. Thanks
It is
for John.
important,
Getting to the bottom of it, so to speak, there, John. So, and Mel, so you were familiar with the race for the 50k, and sounded like it was a lovely day out for the 50k, as they say. And I noticed as well that you'd done a fair bit of recceing as well round about the route. So you'd managed to recce the most of it in advance?
Yeah. So what they changed the route. They took like a certain climb out of it. So we went over one weekend and recce'd over 3 days part of what was the route. Then when we got home on the Monday, they released an email to say, oh, bonus, we've added this little extra bit in. So then we went back over the weekend after and just recce'd part of the last bit. So that was from checkpoint 6 over to checkpoint 7, they'd added Hebog, it's called, and then Nantle Ridge, and then you drop down. So they'd added that bit in. So we went back over. We didn't do the full ridge when we went back over the weekend after, but I'd done most of the route by the time the race came.
So you're standing on the start line in Llanberis, and you're feeling pretty good about yourself. Is everything working in working order and well trained for it by the sounds of that?
Yeah, well, don't you think it's weird when you're training for long distance, because you never feel like, people always say, "Oh, do you feel ready for it?" But you never really do you? I don't think you do.
Because you're never fully recovered and fresh, are you? Because
No,
you're putting
knackered.
exactly that. in a nutshell, knackered.
Yeah, and then we'd both so I'd been off work the week before. I'd had this weird virus that everyone's had, so I had that the week before, and then Sean had it like leading up into race, which were affected him in race. So yeah, with one of them where you've just done an extreme 10-day taper, so you've gone from doing like 50-60 mile a week and then note for 2 weeks after, so you never really know how that's going to go, do you? I mean, you're not, yeah. So I think the rest probably did me good, as in the virus got rid of that. Extreme tapering's the way forward. That's the Sykesy way now.
So how were you feeling on the start line then? Were you feeling fit, or were you still having a bit of hangover for the virus? How were you?
Yeah, we'd had, just like the tail end of virus leading up into race week. So yeah, just stood there and I mean, it is what it is, isn't it, when you set off on something like that? You never plan to DNF, you just like set off, and then, because I've not done races before thinking, oh, I might be poorly, but then you end up having a great time, don't you? So I don't think you can always judge it, really. Just knew to set off a bit steadier.
Steady, yeah.
Steady Eddie, as steady as you can when you're going straight out the start and upside of Snowdon.
Now, the terrain, Stephen mentioned you've done quite a bit of wrecking on the place, and we've seen some of the terrain on your social media as well. I think rugged is the word I would use. How did you find it? How challenging was the course with regards to other things that you've done?
Definitely most technical. Yeah, way more technical than anything I've done before. So there were some bits, like, you're looking, even when we went to recce this, you'll look at the profile and you think, oh, you've got like a 3-mile climb, and then I've got a nice 2-mile downhill, and then you get to the top and it's just like a boulder field going down. So there's no, on something like that, a lot of the descents, there's no like running recovery. So you're working up the hills, but then downhill, it's more mentally tiring because you're having to step across boulders, and some of the descents, they were pretty sketchy, some of them. Actually scrambling down, obviously you sort of state of me pants, and on that video they were just completely ripped, and that was just from sitting down, having to reach down to next boulder to step down. So I mean, they weren't all like that. There were maybe 1, 2, I think 3 at descents were like bouldery.
Sorry, was it a case of getting on your backside because that was the easiest, safest way to navigate it?
Yeah, sit down, slide down one, then find a rock to put your foot on, and then step over to the next one. Yeah, hands down job, pulls away, like climbing down. Yeah,
sounds
good
like
though.
The type of terrain John revels in.
No. But you know what? There's so many questions going through my head. Let's jump about a wee bit. You mentioned poles. What poles do you use?
I have the Black Diamond. I don't know what they're called. Carbon Z. I think they are the ones that fold down.
How comfy are you with them? Do you like them?
Yeah, I love them. Yeah, the only ones I've ever used, so I've got no to compare them with. But yeah, I haven't felt that they've been a problem, so no need to change them.
Do they add to your game, do you think?
Oh yeah, definitely on something like that, absolutely. Because I wouldn't normally use poles.
Yeah.
like I don't really use it. I didn't use them like for lap or like that, but for this one, it's more just like for your back as well. It, you know, when you're going up steep hills, it just takes a bit of pressure off your back, doesn't it, when you've got a pack on.
And poles going up and down, or just up?
Poles just going up, yeah, put them away going down, because they're a bit bloody useless going down, because
Got to pick.
you were just like, yeah, you were just
Yeah.
stabbing them into rocks and stuff like that. So yeah, they were a bit useless going down, so they went away.
My last question, I'll hand back to Stephen. What was the most challenging? The climbs, the descents, or was it the whole thing?
Yeah, yeah, I think I'm better on the climbs than the descents. But I think that's just a confidence thing, you know, like for your shoes, and because there ain't really a good shoe for that sort of thing, because some of the descents were really boggy, so obviously you needed more grip. But if you've got a shoe that's got bigger lugs and then you're trying to step down on like those boulders, they're no good, because you don't get bugger all grip on them then, do you? And then yeah, so yeah, I think probably going uphill, I felt more comfortable. The descent, some of them were really sketchy. The last one, coming off the Nantle Ridge down to the last checkpoint, because it were in dark, it were hailing, it were foggy, and then you can't see the little reflective jobbies that they've put out, because you couldn't even see more than like jobbies. I knew you'd be giggling at that.
We have a dialect dictionary.
You couldn't see them. They'd done quite well with marking course, but it was just so foggy. You could even with your head torch, that's like reflecting back then, isn't it? So you can't see in front of you so far.
And you touched on conditions. Did you get a bit of everything?
Yeah. Bit of everything. When you were going uphill, as soon as you got over a certain height, then yeah, you were just getting piss wet through, windy, foggy, drop down into next valley, and like all aid station volunteers were like, oh, it's a great day for it. And we were like, fucking hammering it down up there.
Okay.
So every time you went up, you were just getting absolutely soaked and wind, and then dropping back down, and it was quite nice. It was really weird. I loved it.
See, when you're saying up and back down, like we can only compare. Let's compare this to the Lakeland 50 or Lakeland 100. When you leave a checkpoint and you go right bloody up, and then you're coming right down again to the checkpoints. Is this profile the same? Is it similar?
Yeah, similar. Yeah, similar. Whereas like as in all the aid stations are like down in the little villages, and then you come out of one and you go up and over again and down into the next one.
Okay, and before we move on talking about the conditions, and you mentioned about shoes. What shoes were the preference of choice?
I had the Celtic Innovates, you know, those green ones that I'd just bought. Those so they were the Trail Fly, yeah, the new Trail Fly version 2 is the bright green ones, which I hated when they first came through post and I opened box. I was like, oh god, but love them now.
So did they stand up well in the conditions as well as they could? You mentioned about different bits of terrain, but
yeah, I think I wouldn't have worn hotels. They were best. I found them best for that, and I didn't change them. Some people were changing shoes at the drop bag, which were at halfway, but I just stayed in the same shoes all the way, and they were fine.
change your socks?
No.
Oh.
No,
No
I didn't
feet
change
admin
out.
at all.
No feet admin out.
Okay.
And then, in terms of how the race panned out, Mel, are you realising that you're at the sharp end? Is it a big field? Is there people that you know?
Yeah, so I knew, obviously I knew Katie Cars, who was running, and then Zoe and Eleanor. So there were like 4 that I knew that I've met at previous events. But I didn't know any of the other women that were in it. Yeah, just them 4.
In 5:30 start, you're making steady progress. I'm assuming Saturday afternoon comes round. Are you aware of where you're in the field? Are you aware of your position?
Not until so there was a guy that was watching. I think he was like maybe going down into checkpoint 2, and he was obviously looking at the tracker. So he'd said to me when I went past there, "Oh, you're in top 10 women." I was like, "Fucking hell, get in!" And then, but some of the checkpoints, you see, you could either go right in, or if you had crew, you sort of filled your bottles up outside. So you're never really sure if someone's in the checkpoint when you go past, or so yeah, I didn't really know how many people I'd passed. And obviously you don't know if anyone in front's dropped out either, so you've no idea. Because like at Lakeland, they've got the open tracking boards up, aren't they, in some of the checkpoints, so you can go in there and you can see your little dot, or but on that you've just absolutely no idea. And then it wasn't until when I got back round to 80k and got into that checkpoint, there was another girl in there, and I left that checkpoint before her, but I didn't know what position she were in either. It were checkpoint 6, the second to last one, where when I arrived there, my Anna, who was crewing me, said, "Oh, the girl that's in 3rd and 4th are still in the checkpoint. They haven't come back out." And I was like, "Oh, bloody hell. Oh, exciting." So when I went in, it was Eleanor and Zoe, who were both no. So I walked in and I was like, "Oh, hi, are you all right?" But yeah, they won.
You're like, yes.
So, if you're happy to speak about this, what is going through your head then? Because this is podium stuff happening now.
Yeah. So I was, before I'd gone into race, I just thought if I can get in top 10 women, I'd be absolutely over the moon. And then when I arrived at checkpoint 6, and Anna said to me, "Oh, the 3rd and 4th girls are in there," and then I don't know, because like you don't know to feel, do you, when it's something like that, because there's still like a mega climb to go and the weather's going to be horrible, and you've still got a way to go, but so it's not like on a flat race where you think, "Oh, if I can keep this pace or whatever, like you're going to be all right or you're going to get past." But on something like that with that terrain, you don't really know. So I just went in, filled my bottles, and just set off on next bit. I knew that I felt all right because I've been like smashing my gels all day, so I felt all right energy wise, and my legs were fine, so I knew that I felt all right. But you never know how other people feel either, do you? So you just got to crack on and do your own thing.
300 questions in my head, but gels, what gels were you using?
I was using the OTE super gels. Have you tried them?
No, super gels.
Super gels, yeah.
Tell us more.
I've only started because I've never run with gels up until this year, but yeah, I've just started using them because the ones that I can remember were like, what were the like the OG of gels? What were they called? High Five.
High Five.
High
Yeah.
Five, yeah. And they used to do a banana one, and then I think they just like gave me some sort of gel PTSD from like 30 years ago because they were bloody horrible. So I always thought, "Oh no, I can't use gels." And then I tried a few of these OT ones, and they were great. So I was smashing them all the way through race at weekend, and I'd never used gels before, but they were great.
When you come into checkpoints, is it similar to Lakeland? There's whole food available. There's sandwiches, soup, anything like that.
Do you know what? I didn't take anything from any at checkpoints.
Okay.
So I'm not actually sure. I saw that there were like some trays laid out with maybe bits of sweets on. And I know the halfway one had hot food. They were doing, I think it was maybe a veg chili. But I'd packed in my halfway bag, those ready to eat sachets of pasta that you're supposed to put in microwave for like 90 seconds.
Yeah.
I'd just put one of them in my halfway drop bag, so I just ate that cold.
Right, okay.
At halfway.
You mentioned you filled your bottles. What was in your bottles?
Tailwind.
What flavour?
Oh, do you know what I did? I just went like whatever flavour.
Oh, okay.
Flavour roulette. Whatever 2 sachets were there in the bottles. Yeah,
Brilliant.
get them down.
And going back to leaving checkpoint 6, do you prefer to be hunted or to hunt?
I think it's better to hunt, isn't it?
Hmm.
It's
So
not.
the tables have turned a wee bit.
Oh, yeah, it's not a nice feeling. So I left the checkpoint in front of Zoe and Eleanor. Eleanor came past me on the climb. And then if Eleanor does listen to this, she made a bit of an error, did Eleanor. So she was the only person that had a red flashing light on her pack. So no one else did. So I saw her put the red light on and I was like, oh, Eleanor, I'm going to be able to see you now. Tactics.
Yeah.
So she was maybe only, I don't know, 200 meters in front of me for a long time going over that ridge because I could see a little flashing red light going on there. And so yeah, she were just in front. But you've no idea really because it's pitch black by then. Obviously, because you're up the mountains, there's no even light pollution. So there's literally bugger all apart from a line of head torches in front and a line of head torches behind that you can't judge how far away they are, can you? Because you see a light sort of flash behind you and you think, oh shit, someone's coming past. But then when you turn around, they're still like a mile away because head torches are so good these days. You can see them coming from a mile off. So yeah, they were Eleanor just in front, then me, but I couldn't tell which one of the head torches behind was Zoe. So yeah, you no idea, have you? You're just trying to battle away and hope at best.
I'm trying to find out how many people actually finished. 209 finishers.
209.
209 in the 100k. How did that feel on the course? Sorry, Stephen.
No, go for it.
Not
I'm
busy.
just going off. No, pretty quiet.
Yeah, pretty quiet. Obviously, you set off up Snowdon, so there's quite a lot of people there. You're surrounded by people up, and then when you go down the other side, but there were big portions of it when I was just running on my own. That might have been to do with weather as well, though, because obviously you can't. If it had been a nicer day, I might have been able to see once you got up the climbs and then you were going sort of on the top. I probably would have been able to see some people, but the weather was so bad once you went up that you couldn't see anyone anyway. But no, it never felt busy. Like checkpoints didn't feel overrun. I know some people have said before that they've gone into them and it's felt really crowded, but yeah, it seemed all right.
I was going to ask, when you were still speaking about Eleanor and a red light flashing and that being a target, when did you then move into that? When did you overtake her?
So we came down off Nantle Ridge and the weather were horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And she was sat down at the side of trail. I think she might have been putting her waterproofs on. So I stopped and it was just like howling wind going round. And I says, "Oh, you all right?" And she said, "Yeah." I think she said her knee was hurting or something because we'd gone like down the boulder thing.
Uh-huh.
It was really quite dangerous at some bits of it because you know that Nantle Ridge is like goes to a point. So there'd been a marshal at one end of it saying, "Oh, make sure you stay to the right because if you go left, you're just off into oblivion down there." So you're aware of that, but you can't really. I've said to Sean that I want to go back and do that in light.
Yeah.
Because obviously when you're in dark, you don't know what it's like at either side. You're just looking in front of you. But yeah, I've just had a look at some pictures on Google before, and it's a fair old. I think if I'd have gone across it day, I'd have been probably a bit more worried. So yeah, Eleanor were gone off on a tangent, Anna. Eleanor was sat outside at footpath. So I stopped and yeah, we were just having a bit of a chat, and she says, "Oh, I think I'm just gonna have to take this descent a little bit steady because my knee's hurting."
That'll do me, she says. Okay.
Job. And how far from the end was that? Sorry, just to contextualise it.
So it was probably another probably 3 mile to the last checkpoint, and then there was 10k to go to end. So
So
yeah,
still the best part of 10 miles.
yeah, maybe 10 mile-ish to go by then.
Yeah.
And obviously it's not an easy 10 mile. So because we were just starting the descent, which were really sketchy, yeah, down to the last checkpoint. And then from the last checkpoint, you're going up again before you drop down into finish.
With all this going
Thank you,
on,
Mel.
you said that if you got top 10, it'd be a fantastic result. You're in the top 5, right? And you're then in the top 3. What happens inside your head then? If you're able to articulate that, what happens inside your head about it, rather than just finishing the race or finishing the event? It's now a race.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
does
And I
that
don't
change
like
your
bloody
mindset?
racing. I
No,
don't
know
like
you don't.
racing.
You're still good and just have a bit of fun. That's your normal thing.
Yeah.
But this is now, and it means a lot. We'll come to that later on. It means a lot to be on that podium as well. So what's going through your mind then?
Yeah, it were weird because I never expected to be there. And once you get into third, you just want to try and stay there then. So I worked so hard from that last checkpoint. So I came into the last checkpoint and Trish was there, who was crewing Zoe. So she was waiting as I came down into the last checkpoint, and she said, "Oh, you're doing great." And I said, "Oh, like you feel like you're going to be caught now?" And she was like, "Believe in yourself." She gave me a little pep talk. So yeah, so then I set off up the next climb, and that was same again. Then you're looking behind you, can see head torches, but I think women should have a different colour head torch. It's only fair.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so you can tell, because obviously some people were like look like they were catching, but you don't know who it is. It were really exciting. Like I don't like racing, but I really enjoyed that last bit from checkpoint 6 to finish. Like I enjoyed that little bit of competition. Yeah, it were really good. It's a bit of an adrenaline rush, isn't it?
Yeah, different chemicals getting released, isn't there?
Yeah. Normally you're
such.
just like plodding along, like, oh, look at that, oh, that's great. And then actually you're having to right, I need to actually pull my finger out here. Yeah, and graft a bit.
I'm just laughing at your idea, different coloured lights for
for women.
Genders, and how you could actually pretend you were a man for a bit and then change it. So, well, anyway, that could go. That whole discussion could go the wrong way as well. So. Yeah, wait, I've just got this picture in my head. Sorry, I got distracted. John, get me back on.
Yeah, I think I'm interested about that whole mindset change as well. So, and sorry, let's just do this just now. I mentioned about how being on the podium is important because it's not just a top 3, it's like a top 5 thing that happens with these races, isn't it? Do you want to speak a bit about that, Mel? We'll come back to the race, but just let's do that just now.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's all the UTMB ones or if it were just at this one. So they were doing trophies for top 5, but top 3 are the ones that get the entry into the CCC. So but I didn't realise that. I didn't even know that happened until my crew told me at checkpoint 6, because she said, oh, when she said to me 3 and 4 are in there, I was like, oh, great, that means I'm going to finish top 5 now, probably. And she was like, yeah, but top 3 gets you into CCC. I was like, what? So yeah, but I didn't realise that until she'd told me at that last checkpoint, and then I was pushing on a bit. But yeah, that all because I've tried to enter like either CCC or UTMB for the past 4 years and not got in. So that even little things like that just give you that little bit of adrenaline and just that little bit of effort, don't they, when you know there's something more in it.
But what a carrot to be dangled at that point as well.
I know.
To give you that surge of motivation as well. And sorry, this is a cheeky question. When you say entry to CCC, does that mean you're still going to pay, or is it you've won a place?
Don't know.
Oh, don't know yet. Okay.
Don't know. I can't imagine it'll be for note.
Pay double.
Yeah, probably will. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was intrigued by that because I seen your photograph on your social media with a big badge, shield thing. And
Yeah,
I
I'm
just,
sure you'll have to pay. It'll just be that you
Got
don't
a
have to
anyway.
enter ballot. Yeah, yeah,
okay, so you were nearly out there for 20 hours. Not quite
Yeah.
though, that 19 hours and a bit. Tell us about it. Tell us about the low point. Let's go dirty dark to start with. How low did you get, or did you get a low point?
Do you know
No?
what? I was saying this to Rachel earlier on in week. I think that must be. Oh no, because it has happened in races before, but there were no low in that race. I think I just loved it. Like the weather, obviously you're out doing that, and you're making your way further up the field. So
Mhm.
yeah, I just were more on top. Because most of the time, the reason you're feeling shit is if you aren't fueled right in it. Like that's why you start feeling a little bit, because really you've done the training to be able to do that distance. So yeah, so I just like made sure I kept on top of my fueling. I think the gels help with that, because I've not used gels before. Then you're trying to like force food or something else in, but gels are great, aren't they? You could just
Yeah.
That's
I always
right.
remember speaking to, I think it was Stephen. We spoke to Andy Berry, and he
Mhm.
rattled the lakes on gels.
You
He was
did?
doing, and I was thinking, how can you do
Always
that?
thought to myself, did he do it on berry flavoured gels?
Ah, very good, yeah, very good.
Shut
But
up.
but I think the moral of the story, though, and we talk about this a lot, isn't we? Low mood, eat food, anything,
Mhm.
eat food, get the stuff in. So what's your strategy? Is it every half an hour? What works for Mel Sykes?
No, there were no real. They were just when I thought that it were a while till I'd had something. Yeah,
Have you got a wee alert on your watch that says?
No, I didn't put it on, and I should have done, because there was one bit between two of the aid stations. I think it was 2 and 3 maybe. That I'd had what I thought I should have eaten, and then I got to the aid station. I was like, oh shit, I ain't eaten. So then I had to smash a load then between the next two aid stations to try and catch up, because that were one of the things I didn't want to do. I didn't want to end up bonking up. But yeah, sometimes when you're just running, you do forget, don't you? So I had quite a few different stuff, and we're just having a rummage around and be like, oh, Twix, I'll have that. So yeah, no real plan, but just making sure something were going in.
And it's paid dividends by not feeling no low points as well. So
Mm.
that's
Yeah,
brilliant.
no love. Yeah, weird how they want, because normally there always is at some point where you just feel like you're gonna have a bit of a cry, isn't there? But
Well, we've
You
also
almost-
spoke. Sorry, Stephen. We've spoken to Mel a few times now about races, and I think there's always been a bit of a GI thing or a stomach issue, but none this time. Everyone was okay.
maybe a little bit of one.
Okay.
But yeah, nowhere near as bad as it's been before. But I sometimes wonder if stomach issues to do with effort as well. Like if I don't know, you don't know why it happens, do you? Sometimes I suppose if you like pushing hard and you can't get the fuel in. Whereas because this was such a long race and such technical terrain, it was sort of a lower but constant effort, which meant I could eat better and then maybe digest it better. I don't know. It might just be one of them things. Might be the 2 portions of fish and chips I had.
John's face. I was going to say you're almost waiting on the inevitable low point, eh? Do you know you're waiting on it, and it's no
Mhm.
manifesting, it's no coming, and you're like, wait a minute, it's only a couple of miles to the finish. I'm getting away with this. You've maybe just
Yeah.
found your sweet spot with that, race effort level. Who knows?
Yeah, weird.
The perfect day.
Mm.
Brilliant.
So if there's no lows, tell us about the highs. What was your standout moment of the race?
I mean, it's got to be running down to finish, hasn't it?
So describe that. Is that the last mile, the last 2 miles? Are you running? Are you like sprinting in, or what's happening?
So you leave the last checkpoint, and then you've got, I think, 2.5 mile climb up, and then maybe a 2.5 mile downhill to finish. But the downhill's on like a shale track, so a good footpath. And then the last miles maybe on the road. So if you can run by then, it's quite a good finish to run. So yeah, I did manage to run all the way down road and all the way down that track to finish. And again, like, you don't know if the head torches are behind men or women, do you? So I was just running down thinking, oh, nearly there.
When did you know you'd secured third place?
I thought that if I could, because I knew that my legs still felt all right and I still had enough energy, I thought if I could get up that last 2.5 mile climb without being caught, I knew I was feeling well enough to run down to finish. So I thought if I can get over that last little bump, and she hadn't caught me then, I thought I'll probably get down to finish. But you're never sure, are you? You're never sure.
That might spur you on though to. Were you looking behind, or were you just focused on where you were going?
I was just running down, and then a guy sort of caught me up. He was running. I passed 3 blokes just as you got to top, and then as I were like running down quite quick, one of them caught me back up again, and I said to him, "Oh bloody hell! I thought you were next woman catching me." We're like, "Oh no!" So me and him ran down a bit together then.
Brilliant. And it turns out you finished about 40 minutes ahead of fourth women.
Yeah,
so
weird.
So you'd extended that lead from the 6th checkpoint, which is brilliant. Is it a razzmatazz finish?
Oh,
at 12 in the morning?
No, not when you finish at that time. There was Sean were there, obviously the 2 or 3 people, the photographer, and then somebody handing you your medal. But yeah, there's no, like, the finish line videos that you see obviously in day where music's playing and everyone's clapping. Yeah, there's nobody there at just after midnight waiting for you. Bless her, Katie Cars had waited, so she'd finished about an hour, I think, before me, and she'd waited at finish to see me come in. So that was good, having another Yorkshire voice there. Stood at finish, but yeah, apart from that, there wasn't hardly anyone there.
And so yeah, 2 Yorkshire on the podium.
Yep, 2 and 3.
66% of the podium, John, was Yorkshire.
Previous guests, friends of the show. There you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Wow. So I want to dig in a wee bit more into this CCC thing, if that's okay, because if that's been a aspiration to do that for the last 4 years or whatever, that's at the end of August.
Next year.
Right. I was going to say, that doesn't leave much planning time. Okay, so that's 2027.
That's 2027, yeah. And what I didn't realise until Katie told me at the end, and we've had the email today, so you can upgrade or downgrade as well. So on the email, it's come through that the entries for the CCC, but if you wanted to pay extra and enter UTMB, you can transfer it into that. So I was talking about it today, and it seems like I'm never going to get to qualify again on a podium to do it. So while we're going out there next year, I think it makes sense to just upgrade it to UTMB, doesn't it? If you go in there anyway.
That answers my question about if you pay for it or not. You're paying for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, what are you doing at the end of August next year, John? You got a
now.
We've got a road show.
Yeah.
Man,
brilliant.
That's
okay, thank
exciting.
you for clarifying that.
I never knew that.
No, I didn't.
I should have maybe come in with this a bit earlier, but as is our wont, we sometimes get a secret question.
Oh.
So I contacted previous guest, friend of the show, Sarah Perry, for a question. She gave me 2.
Did you?
Yep. It was super. This is Sarah's words, not mine. It was super inspiring watching Mel tick off runners, taking souls, we call it. And Debbie Martin Kinsani calls it that. In the final 10 miles of the race, despite saying that she felt completely fucked. Open brackets, her words, close brackets. What gave her that drive to push, and why does she think she had the ability to push when everybody else was trailing off? Was it your pacing? Was it your nutrition? Or was it your experience?
I think I don't know whether to say experience
You
because
can say what you like.
yeah, like not experience on that terrain, but maybe experience of longer events. And most definitely pacing, because you set off on that race and everyone's running up Snowdon, and then you get up there and sort of go down. I think is it about a 4 mile descent, but it's not like a nice descent. It's like down steps, down boulders, stepping down. So I was just taking that really steady, and everyone were just like flying past there. But I mean, you're like 4 miles into what was a 68-mile race, and you're just blowing your balls on first climb. So yeah, I think pacing. I think it were everything: pacing, fueling, and maybe a bit of
Experience.
experience just at the longer.
Mhm.
And I'm not actually a good runner, as in a fast runner. So I can't set off that fast because I don't run that fast. I don't do any running on road or anything. So I'm not used to running fast. So like that pace is just my pace, whereas other people set off uphill pretty quick.
Yeah, and I think what was the Sarah used the term tick off runners. They're the people that went off like
Yeah,
flag,
just
yeah.
because you can see on the UTMB website, when you look, it tells you your position at each checkpoint. So I think I was 115 at the first checkpoint and finished 39th. So
Wow.
yeah, so
Tells the story, doesn't it?
yeah,
Steady was the word you used to start. So
yeah,
brilliant. Sarah's other question might take a wee bit more thought, right?
okay.
How do you expect to be acknowledged for your performance during Yorkshire Day later this year?
Well, I'm hoping that I will get a YBE, which is the Yorkshire MBE. It's not really, I don't know whether they do that, but I would like a Yorkshire pudding filled with gravy, and maybe a plaque or a statue of myself in Huddersfield Town Centre.
Brilliant. A blue plaque on the wall. Thank you. Brilliant. Sarah will be delighted. I'm delighted Sarah asked the question. Right. That was a small digression.
It was.
What did you learn about yourself in the UTS 100k?
It's going deep now. Going deep.
That about myself, I don't know.
That you like gels.
But I like gels now. I like gels, and yeah, that's probably it.
Well, let me reframe it then. How proud are you of yourself for the third place podium finish at
Yeah,
a bloody very hard and challenging race?
yeah. I think that's what it is. I did say to Sarah at the end, because we were like messaging afterwards, and I said I think probably I just need to have a bit more confidence in my running, in other events as well. Because I always go into them just thinking, oh yeah, I'll just set off and we'll just see how this goes. But yeah, maybe I should have a bit more confidence in the running and trying to work a bit harder. But depends what you want out of it, doesn't it?
Exactly that, because maybe if you did change that mindset, you'd lose a wee bit of the love for it.
Enjoyment.
Yeah, or it would maybe level you up again. Who knows? Shite bag if you didn't. Sorry, well, I don't mean that. I don't mean that. But it
I'll
is
take it.
sometimes actually you're just sometimes just, do you know what? I'm just want a wee day out doing what I love rather than that competitive edge. And sometimes I do want a competitive edge. Everybody's got a different sweet spot.
Yeah.
But it sounds to me like Mel was having a good day out, and then somebody said to her at the 6th checkpoint, You're in third. You get a CCC place for this.
Get a
See you
shift
later.
on.
Woof.
I know, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. You said you want to go back to see that ridge bit in the light. Would the 100-mile tempt you at Snowdonia?
No, not a chance. Not a chance.
What's the difference with the route? You up Snowdon twice, maybe?
Yeah, so our last checkpoint, it goes a different way at the start of their race as well. Then they do quite a lot that's similar to ours, but then so the last checkpoint when I've just got then like a 2.5 mile steady climb up over some boggy shite, and then you drop down, they go back up Snowdon again then, and then drop down.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, horrible.
Technical term, boggy shite.
Yeah.
Like that. So
I've got a quick question. It's an aside. So we've just said there that something that lit Mel's fire maybe was the thought a third in a CCC place and that thing. What would you and I connive for John at the last checkpoint at the spine that would light his fire?
I've only got one checkpoint. About 1.5.
Well,
yeah, you have. At Mallam maybe.
Say something like that. Do you know what could we think of that would be that reward?
It's probably going to be something like Celtic winning the league every year for the next 10 years.
I'm just thinking some chips and gravy. Something as simple as that. It would not be a CCC place anyway for John.
No
CFC place.
More like a toffee crisp place or something like that. That's a good shout. I shall channel that chips and gravy when I get to
10
that.
miles to go. 10 miles to go, John.
One of the things I've been thinking about actually is about how I feel that run and what you've been saying about gels, because a lot of the stuff I've done on recce's has been gels. Sorry, I'm not going to make this about me. I'll come back. So, but it's certainly one of the things that I've been thinking about is that fueling side of stuff, as everybody should. And it's brilliant to hear that you mentioned, Mel, you've been running for a number of years and gels was off the agenda, but it's now back in as well.
Yeah, I think it's just finding there's so many more companies doing them now, isn't there?
Definitely.
So it's just finding one that you can tolerate and one that's nice. And see, I like the OTE ones because they're quite flavoured, but I know some people prefer like the Morton or the other ones, the unflavoured ones, don't
Neutral.
they? Yeah, the neutral ones, but yeah, it's just finding something you like, I suppose.
With the OTE ones, do you feel you want to be sip of something afterwards, or are you okay just taking it?
Yeah, okay, just taking them, yeah.
Okay. And you used their like flapjacks as well. Do you still take them?
Yeah, I didn't on this race. I used, so they do little energy chews, like that's like jelly, like a little stripper, like jelly type stuff. So I use those and the SIS beta chews, Tailwind and OTE and Twixes. Yeah, Twixes weirdly.
The solid caramel Twix is a nice one.
That limited edition or something?
I don't know. It's like in a light blue packet. It's nice, just for a wee change. Anybody listening in that maybe is thinking that sounds really crazy folk listening in, saying that sounds like a good running route. What advice would you give them about the 100k Snowdonia?
Definitely to recce. I know not everyone can recce because it depends where you live, doesn't it, and time constraints. But I would have not wanted to go out on. There were plenty of people that hadn't recce'd, but obviously a lot. I think they said that there were 70 different nationalities across all of the races over the weekend. So some people like logistically can't come over to recce, but if you were able, I'd definitely recce, especially that last little extra bonus bit that they put in with the ridge. Yeah, just to go, and it's just a good day out as well, isn't it? Recceing, if you can get either a group together or you can go over for weekend, and
Defo.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Where are we in our question set, John? I was just putting it up on my other screen.
Okay.
Wait a
What's
minute. Okay, wait. How does Snowdonia compare to other ultras you've done, especially in terms of difficulty? Sorry.
You went all robot voice then.
that was my Jenny I voice. Yeah, is it the hardest one that you've done?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, in terms of terrain, definitely the hardest. Yeah, the hardest event. Yeah, they were like 20 and a half thousand feet.
63 miles.
Yeah, fair shift.
That is.
Jeez, oh man. So, how are your legs? Because it was only Saturday, Sunday there. Today's Thursday.
Yeah, all right today. I had to I was due back at work yesterday, and I had to text my boss on Tuesday and say, please can I have an extra day annual leave? So I was off Tuesday and Wednesday, and then been back today. So they're all right today. I still won't run till weekend, but yeah, they're feeling better now. I don't have to crawl upstairs.
And no feet issues.
No.
That's brilliant. Oh, there they are.
Wow.
Just what you wanted.
That's quite phenomenal. Is that to do? Well, we spoke to you. You speak about feet a lot. It's your job. It's what you do as a job. But is that to do? Oh, sorry. Let me come back for that. Why are your feet in such good nick? Is it to do with what you wear on your feet? Is it to do with your foot care prior to the race? What do you put that down to?
Yeah, I think just everything really. So I look after them. I look after them generally in the week anyway by using the Flexitol, and then use either the Hube lube or the Trail Skin foot lube. Good socks and just good fitting shoes that aren't gonna rub.
Say more about socks. What socks?
They're called. Is it Beluga?
We call them Beluga Lagoon socks. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, the Beluga Lagoons. Yeah, so I wear them normally anyway, but these pairs, it was first time I'd worn them in this race. I have worn that brand before, but I thought I bought 3 new pairs. And wore it for the first time. But yeah, they're great. The crew sock, I think it was. Never seem to get any blisters with them at all.
I'm obsessed with socks. Are they merino wool? What are they made of?
Just like sock material.
Just sock.
I don't know.
Are they twin skin? Are they thin?
No.
Are they thick?
They're thin.
Colour are they?
Not twin skin. They're a size 6.
What colour are they? Do they match your green shoes?
Oh, they were blue. So I wore the blue ones and I had the red ones in my drop bag, but I didn't change them. So I had blue socks and bloody green shoes. Yeah. Not going to win any prizes for fashion.
Mentioned about there was quite a high DNF rate as well. What's the one thing that people underestimate about the course?
I don't. It'd be good if what there is a race somewhere. Oh, it's Grand Union Canal race. When people DNF, there's a little caption on the DNF sheet of why they've DNF'd. So whatever they.
Good idea.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that? It's coming up soon, Grand Union Canal.
I think it's this weekend.
I think it's this weekend. But if you have a look when the race is on.
Hot.
Yeah, it says like.
It will be too hot.
Yeah, too hot. Or it'll just say like got shits, got lost, fed up, whatever. And there's like a little caption. So they should do that for every race, because it'd be good to know why people DNF. I think
Questioning life choices.
from what I've seen, yeah, just hated it. Just don't like running. From what I've seen on like Instagram reels of people that have DNF'd, most of them got cold, got too wet, got too cold. And that seems to be why.
Mm-hmm.
How did you stop that happening to you?
Just I put my waterproof on like as soon as it started raining. And then at the halfway point, I put my waterproof trousers on, and I changed my top 2 layers that were under my coat, took them off, put 2 dry layers on, put my waterproof coat on, and then carried on. So I just did a full top change.
Was that from your backpack, or is that a drop point at halfway?
That you got a drop bag at halfway, yeah. So they were in my drop bag.
Talk about your jacket and your trousers brand.
Jacket, waterproof coats, the Ron Hill mountain equipment one that I love. I've got 2 of them, and I reproofed both of them just before the race. I had the spare one in my drop bag, but I just wore my green one for the whole race because I didn't need to change it in the end. And my waterproof trousers were the Innovate. They don't make them anymore, and I'm gutted because I've ripped the ass out of those ones that I had. They're like that sort of see-through material, so they're not like a heavyweight waterproof, but they were perfect for that because it was about 10 degrees, so it wasn't cold, it was just wet, and they were perfect for that. But I messaged Innovate and they've said that I couldn't find them, so they've stopped doing them, which is annoying.
So, sorry, you messaged them after the event to say that
after the event, to say I need another pair of these, and they said they've been discontinued. Damn it.
Was this going back with a customer complaint to say the ass was ripped out of them?
No.
Saying that's her for Yorkshire, I want a free pair of trousers.
I wanted a free pair.
Okay.
So I need to find something to replace then. I know Montaigne do some, and I think, I don't know if you say OM or OMM, I think they do one as well that's like that similar lightweight, see-through-y type stuff.
Yeah. I've just checked. The Grand Union Canal race is this weekend. So
Oh,
it's
is
going
it?
to be a roasty toasty one. Starts at 6 a.m. from Birmingham and goes all the way to London. They don't call it the long run for nothing. But I do love that idea about why did you DNF? I love that. It's a good shout. Yeah.
So, Johnny, you got anything else on UTS? I didn't want to steal your thunder.
Oh no. Happy to carry on.
What's next? What's next for Mel?
I think Lakeland 100 will be next. Yeah, going back there.
What's that, like 10 weeks time?
What month are we in? May.
Yep.
I'm at the Spine, but not racing. I'm doing media again. So we're away for a week. Yeah, following the race up again. So that'll be good. Get to see JC slogging it out. And then, my next event will be Lakeland 100.
And is there anything in the diary after that?
There's the 100 miler at Mallorca, the Mallorca UTMB. That's end of October. And then Winter Spine again.
Whoa.
Yeah, some biggies this year.
Is that an exclusive? The Winter Spine?
Well, yeah, it might be.
Brilliant.
Yeah, going back to the Winter Spine in Jan.
Why?
I don't know.
To get out of doing the media.
Yeah, to get out of doing that again. I think the reason I'm going back, I don't know whether it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, because I had such a good time last January. And it was just, the weather was great. Obviously, we had the snow, but then later on, as we got further north, it were actually really nice. And I just had a really good 5 days, whatever it was. So I don't know whether it's a bad thing going back, because if you have a bad experience this time, then that's the memory of it. But yeah,
One way
I
to
don't
find
know.
out.
Yeah, of course there is. Yeah.
I
The
have another
Mallorca thing interests me.
Yeah, it's so it's Halloween weekend, end of October. And they do a 100k, 100 miler, and I think a 50k out there as well.
Well,
Yeah, so I thought we'd like go out and do a bit of a trip and just run 100 miles if you do on your holiday.
Sorry, I'm not sure of the profile of the one in Mallorca, but would the UTS be similar terrain, because it's chunky in Mallorca as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like rocky and hard underfoot in Mallorca. There won't be the bogs, hopefully, in Mallorca that a lot of UTS had, because once you'd got up some of the climbs and going across the tops, it were really quite boggy. Out on UTS, it wasn't all good footpaths. There were just some Pennine Way slogging on there, which is probably why I enjoyed it. And yeah, Mallorca's like hard packed trails. I haven't looked at profile yet, actually. I just, yeah.
Signed up.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, just signed up. Yeah, plenty of time, yeah.
Does the Pennine Way put you in does the Pennine Way running, training, put you in a good place for UTS? Or is it very different? Because
yeah, really different. Yeah, different. Just more technical. Like there's a lot of the Pennine Way, even though, especially my bit, it's really lumpy, isn't it? But there's no sort of steep 3 mile climbs.
Yeah.
They're all sort of, you're not going
very
up.
hard. They're very hard.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just tough going on Pennine Way, isn't it?
But sorry, yeah, it's totally different elevation type profile.
Oh yeah, completely different. Yeah. UTS was a lot more spiky, so you come out of an aid station and you're just like uphill for a long time and then dropping back down again. Whereas on Pennine Way it's a bit more. It's still hilly, but it's more rolling hilly than sort of big mountainy things.
Okay, I have another secret question.
Oh yes.
We went all out. Previous guest, friend of the show, Rachel McPherson, submitted a question.
Oh God.
Have you noticed a difference in your performance since becoming a wolf?
I thought it was going to be a serious question.
I think it is a serious question.
Until the very last one.
And then she says, can the three of you howl in unison? So, after three, we'll do 3, 2, 1. Oh! There we go. Rachel never asked that, but I wanted to do that bit. So that's cool. So we know that you adorn the wolf. You adorn the wolf fleece. What has that brought to your life?
It's just made it so much better.
Thank you very much, and thank you to Rachel for posing
the question. Thank you, Rich.
It could have been anything, couldn't it? So,
well, that's what we're worried about. That's what we're worried about.
Absolutely anything.
Stevie boy, take us back to the question set.
Are we going to Dialect Dictionary?
Yeah.
Mel, we've had a variety of submissions from you before for Dialect Dictionary. What's it going to be on your 6th appearance? I'm going 6th.
Do you know what? I've been trying to think because I can't remember what I've used before.
Oh. It's a memory test.
Yeah. I can't remember the other ones, but I will go for. I'm just going to go with when we say you sen or missen. So if we were saying like myself, you'd say missen.
Yeah.
Would you?
John understands because he gets voice notes from me all the time.
Yeah. Just do it your sen. Look after your sen.
Look after your sen.
Yeah.
Where does that derive from? What?
I don't know. I don't know where it derives from. I think it's
Yorkshire.
Yeah, from Yorkshire. Yeah, I think it's just a
And we-
thing. So
We'll say Marcel. Masel.
Marcel.
Similar. Very, very
So
similar.
Yeah, similar
the
thing.
Yorkshire
Yeah,
version. I'd do that myself.
Marcen.
Marcen.
Ah,
It's the N that I'm curious about. I shall
mm.
do a bit of digging into the world of Yorkshire dialects to see if I can find a. Probably they just couldn't hear each other one day because of the sound of the colliery or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Making it up as I go along. Last of the summer wine, or just all jaked up and everything. So okay, and a song. Now,
Let's do it, man. There was
Mel,
debate.
it
There
was.
was debate at the start of this because you've revealed before we pressed record that you never listened to music. So were you 19 and a bit hours, nothing in your ears apart from the sound of Irere?
The wind.
Well done.
The wind
Yeah.
and rain. And the sound of, like when you've got your hood up on your waterproof jacket, everything just it just sounds really loud in there anyway, doesn't it?
It does,
And then
it
you'll be,
amplifies.
yeah, you're running along and it sounds like it's going, and then you take your hood down and you're like, oh, this is nice. So yeah, sound inside of me bloody hood.
So you've had an hour and a bit, an hour and 10 minutes to think about, is there a song that's coming in your head? We also did say that we would choose one for you if we have to. So don't put us on the spot.
I'm happy for you to choose.
Oh,
Choose. Only because normally I'd like either when I was driving to the event or driving home, or if I didn't listen to a song during it, or there'd be one that stood out over weekend. But yeah, I'm just pulling a blank on that.
Okay, Stephen?
Well, I'm thinking a Welsh artist.
Oh.
So either the
Right. Manics or Stereophonics. Or Catatonia.
Well, Catatonia, Road Rage.
Road Rage. I loved that, the way that. What was her name again?
Keris Matthews.
Keris, yeah.
Matthews. You give me road rage. Used to sing it like that, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll go with that. Why don't we have that?
Mulder and Scully. That was another one. I thought.
Another one, yeah. Super Furry Animals were Welsh as well, weren't they? I think they
They
were,
were.
yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the Manics at the start, but we're happy to go with Road Rage. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Seems fitting.
Yeah, it
It's-
does. Yeah.
It's got a good wee intro as well that just fits in with the blending. Let's do that. Okay.
Fine.
Mel, thank you so much for that review of UTS 100K. It's always brilliant to have you on and to have a bit of chat. The listeners love listening into the Mel Sykes story. So it's been brilliant. And it's also brilliant to hear that it was a race that went so well for you. You know, so it sounds like it's been one of these sort of dream weekends, and for that dream to also finish up third female on the podium and get access to potentially UTMB if you choose to go down that route next year, 2027, it's quite brilliant. So
I
thank you
know,
very
unbelievable, isn't it?
I'll hand over to Stephen to wrap us up, but thank you very much, Mel.
Did you meet Sean?
I did, yeah. He hadn't lived that down. I've told him about 10 times a day since Sunday.
Also, did you get to keep that big shield, the CCC thing?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
That's your blue plaque. That's
Yeah.
it.
See it in the background.
A wall.
Getting held by that big teddy
Yeah, they
bear.
let us keep it. That's funny, isn't it? Yeah.
Brilliant. No, Mel, thank you. It's been great to catch up. We've not had a chat for a while, and I know that John's been having luxurious weekends on the Pennine Way in his recceing attempts, and I'm a wee bit gel about that. But we can't do it all, so it's been great to catch up. Thank you so much, and well done again. What a performance! What a result!
Thank you very much.